One of the reasons I love and my amazing wife Chrissy loves Positive Coaching Alliance is because the word positive. And Christy, who's a member of the board of directors in the Mid-Atlantic for PCA and was a collegiate gymnast. Brian's wife Becky, who was a great athlete. We talk a lot about going to these youth athletic sports, whether it's an AAU game or a soccer game, and being horrified by the environment that exists. Some of it generated by coaches, some of it generated by parents. And, you know, I had an experience in the last 48 hours with, you know, a parent belittling both a referee and their child in a very public way. And it's one of the reasons I love PCA, because they're trying to take on that challenge. I wonder, and Brian, maybe start with you, how you think about whether bringing positivity to the environment in which you live and work every day is important.
Yeah, I mean, it's in this context, there's a few things. Well, let me take a step back. In my own context, I know, and I've been around it long enough that I have enough data points, right, for this, which is if I come in and I'm sour about something, right, I'm in a grouch, you name it, like it can be any reason, right? The players feel that immediately, and the session is always not great. Practice just is like, oh man, that was, and and it doesn't happen too often. I tend to be sort of a glass half full type of a person and a coach, and I tend to, you know, approach a lot of that way. But I also certainly try to make sure, even if I'm not in a good way going out, like I remove any baggage I have, because it's not fair to the team. Like it's the most fun part of our day to be together and do those things. You got to have it, because it's hugely contagious, and that goes into what you're talking about in terms of the youth landscape and these things. The coaches set the tone for everything. Parents set the tone for too much in those things. And you know, I whenever I see my kids do any sports, I just sit and watch, because I'm like, this is quite fun to go through. And the reality is, even for us as parents, I have 3 children, so you know, the first one, when she's playing, when she's 10, you sort of perceive it as like 4 years, 5 years more important than she's at, always, right? So it's just everything's a huge deal, and you go through and you know, you got the high school games, you got club games, you got tournament games, you got playoff games that are, at the end of the day, the results are things that if you give it 6 months time, it's really a triviality, right? What you're excited about and you're outraged about with the referee, or it's such a triviality, it's almost embarrassing, right? And so how do you get, you know, parents to do the right thing and coaches to do the right thing is, you know, we play sport because it's fun at the end of the day, right? And so when we, you know, when we have a player who's having a run where they're just not enjoying themselves, then, you know, we always ask the question, well, why do you do it? Like, it's not worth doing. If you don't enjoy showing up and playing every day and training every day, you shouldn't play, right? I mean, it's not a job. It's something that should be fun. And what I think we have to be careful of is, when you do look at some of these environments, and this can go for a work environment too, by the way, Dan, right? Showing up for work has to be like, we're lucky. I think we love what we do, but
yeah,
you know, it's, I always feel really sad for people when they don't want to get up and go to their job, right? Like that's, for me, is like, oh man, that's, you know, sometimes you have to do it, but can you find something else, or can you find something in your job that's more fun to look forward to? But the same thing applies to you know, when you're looking at the youth sports structure, we put so much pressure on these kids that you have to be really careful. Very quickly becomes something that's not fun, and that can be, that tone can be set very much by any one of those things you're referencing.